And so in 2025, we think everything is now becoming synthetic or tokenized, sorry, not synthetic. So as we move not just dollars onto the blockchain, which is stable coins, but we'll move stocks and real estate, dollar dominance is going to be the opportunity of Ethereum. So digital gold is Bitcoin. And so in that world, we believe Ethereum could flip Bitcoin, similar to how Wall Street and equities flipped gold post 71.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge.
Tom Lee and Cathie Wood dive into the big question: will Ethereum overtake Bitcoin? Discover bold insights, sharp predictions. Let's watch.
Been saying is you think that the Ethereum network or market cap is going to flip with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is at about, 2.4 trillion now, somewhere around there. And Ethereum is 540 billion. You think there is a flippening, as they might say. I'd love to hear you talk about it, but just to set this up, and anyone who's listening to this podcast knows that we have in 2030 a forecast of the entire crypto asset ecosystem. And of course, we're going to be modifying this with time. We're doing our big ideas work now, but as of our last go at this, the ecosystem we expect to hit $25 trillion in 2030. The vast majority of that in Bitcoin, mostly because we look at Bitcoin as, a global monetary system, rules-based that we've been missing since the U.S. went off the gold exchange standard in 1971. That's a very big idea. It's a technology, obviously, and it is the first of its kind. And we wrote a paper in 2016 on this, first of its kind in a new asset class. So those are three very big ideas. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why ETH or the ecosystem will surpass Bitcoin.
Bitcoin just hit an incredible milestone, climbing past $111,000 as market optimism returns in full force. The surge follows a strong weekly close above $108,000, signaling that bullish momentum might just be heating up again. Traders are eyeing classic chart patterns, especially multiple bull flags that hint at possible targets between $186,000 and $192,000 in the coming weeks, a potential 70% gain if momentum continues. The rally is fueled by improving macroeconomic conditions, including easing tensions between the U.S. and China, and hopes for an upcoming trade deal. Investors are also cheering the near certainty of a rate cut later this month, which could inject more liquidity into the markets. Technical indicators back the optimism. The RSI shows bullish divergence, suggesting waning sell pressure and rising confidence among traders. With momentum building and multiple bullish patterns aligning, Bitcoin could be gearing up for another historic run higher.
Okay. Well, if I could rewind a little bit to 1971, in our chairman's message last month, we addressed how gold versus Wall Street grew post 1971. So 1971 was when Nixon formally withdrew the U.S. from the gold standard. The immediate beneficiary was there was demand and a market to own gold. And so people would say that was your, first implication. But what we wrote about and talked about in our message was that in 1971, the dollar became fully synthetic because it was no longer backed by anything. And so there was risk that the world would go off the dollar standard. So in stepped Wall Street to create products to propagate the future of Wall Street, including, and we listed, I think, 14 products that emerged over the next decade, from money market funds to credit to mortgage-backed securities to futures, etc. And dollar dominance by the end of that period went from 27% of GDP terms, but to 57% of central bank reserves and 80% of financial transaction quotes. So Wall Street was created products that made the dollar dominant, and the market cap of equities today is 40 trillion compared to 2 trillion for gold. So in other words, gold is 5% of all available assets. And so in 2025, we think everything is now becoming synthetic or tokenized, not synthetic. So as we move not just dollars onto the blockchain, which is stable coins, but we'll move stocks and real estate, dollar dominance is going to be the opportunity of Ethereum. So digital gold is Bitcoin. And so in that world, we believe Ethereum could flip Bitcoin, similar to how Wall Street and equities flipped gold post 71. Now, that is just our working theory, because I am still a Bitcoin bull. So I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I believe your targets for Bitcoin are actually reachable. So we think Bitcoin fair value should at least be 1.5 to 2.1 million, but we can see higher values. But that would, of course, provide upside to a neutral smart contract platform where a lot of Wall Street will innovate of real-world assets.
Catching market manipulation in altcoins before they crash is all about recognizing the signs early. Unlike Bitcoin, many altcoins have smaller markets and less oversight, making them easy targets for coordinated price moves by insiders or large holders, often called whales. These manipulators use tactics like pump and dump schemes, wash trading, or fake social media hype to inflate prices and then dump their tokens, leaving regular investors with huge losses. A sudden jump in trading volume without any real news, big transfers from whale wallets to exchanges, or a flood of identical social media posts are classic red flags. Platforms such as Nansen, Dex Tools, and Lunar Crush can help detect suspicious wallet activity, fake liquidity, and sentiment manipulation before prices turn south. The best protection comes from research and discipline. Always check project fundamentals, avoid hype-driven tokens, and use stop-loss orders. Staying skeptical of guaranteed 100x coins and anonymous influencers can save your portfolio. In crypto, awareness is your best defense against manipulation. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to BitcoinZella for daily news all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.